Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all.
Hello, my fellow hunters. Today we talk Agnaktor, the fire pike wyvern. He spends his days burrowing through rock, swimming through magma, and generally going clack clack, clack clack. He is an interesting little specimen, a leviathan, sure, but he's got himself a beak going on and this lovely sail fin that helps him be ever so dynamic through the magma, which is incredibly dense, even though it's a liquid. I feel like it doesn't help as much as he thinks it helps, and it's mostly just the raw power from his tail, but hey, he knows how to accessorize, and it looks cool, and admittedly, it does help him shed excess heat very quickly when he is above the surface. The blood runs up into the veins in each of the fleshy panels. How often do you get to say fleshy panels? And, well, it gives off its little cargo of temperature. I didn't want to say heat again, but temperature could be cold as well. But now I've committed to the sentence, and I'm not going to do another take. Ha! So, the babies are Agnaktor, okay? They are little tiny, well, versions of Agnaktor, and Agnaktor is what they become once they mature. Essentially, someone asked an Agnaktor, what do you want to do when you grow up? And it went, I want to fire laser beams and make this noise! And the world went, yeah, alright, that seems pretty fun. So, in generally, his shape, his flow is a lot like Legiocris. They do share certain tendencies in body slams and rappy tail slaps, but it's very superficial. He has a lovely little technique when his beak is closed. The fine point it makes, combined with a spinning motion, he can literally drill down into, well, any volcanic surface he feels like, and he can go quick. He can go very fast, pick up some serious speed as he creates his subterranean little tunnels. And he has a lovely little habit of powering out from the ground and then drilling into the ceiling itself with the momentum and being above for an aerial surprise attack. They are very much ambush predators. You can't defend against something, well, bursting out of what used to be solid stone beneath you, showering you in lava, and then puncturing through you with a beam of pure fury. This awesome natural weapon, one of the most powerful to be found, is created through a combination of lava the Agnaktor has taken on board through its journeys through a special lava flap. We'll go with a lava flap. And then it mixes in a special sac that it has within, able to withstand extreme heats, obviously, and it is combined there with explosive chemicals that is then ignited by the clacks of his beard, creating his beard by the clacks of his beard, by the clacks of his beard, by the beard of Zeus, by the clacks of his beak, creating a little spark, and then ignition. This is a powerful weapon, so powerful that Agnaktor himself struggles to control the recoil. It absolutely forces him backwards, and he has to very much concentrate on it. Physically, he's not the strongest going. He loses out in a match to even something like an Uragan that he shares his home with, but the ability to be sneaky through the ground, combined with such a potent laser that it can punch clean through a Gravios shell, which is one of the hardest carapaces to cleave asunder in all of the Monster Hunter world. It gets the job done for the most part, and of course he does come to the surface covered in
liquid hot magma,
which eventually cools down and leaves him with layers of pure volcanic rock to add to his defenses, turning Blade away effortlessly. This lava armor is a trait stolen viciously by Levisioth, that rat little bastard. But that's okay. That's okay. We don't need to think about the world in which we could have got Agnaktor instead of Levisioth in the Elder's Recess. We don't need to think about that world. The world is such a happier world than the worlds we live in. Why? Why? So obviously it flees from elder dragons, and, you know, while it can actually do damage to Gravios, it still would rather not fight them. It can go toe-to-toe, tail-to-toe, I don't really know what parts of the body I'm talking about, but it can go body bit to body bit with even a Devil Joe. Not in, obviously, a raw physical contest, because, you know, that's what Joe likes, but Joe is very fleshy, very soft, very spongy, and that does not respond well to heat and lasers and explosions. And for the most part, Agnaktor does sit atop the food chain in its home. While there are those that can contest it, they can't really get at it, so it has just the raw pickings that it would like of all the herbivores to be found there. Renoplos aplenty. So the clack beam, if you know what I mean, it's so mean it's obscene, it tears through the scene and makes the Agnaktor king of all he's seen. All he's seen. I really wish I had any form of talent. What I'm trying to lay down for you in wicked rhyme, why do I make these videos, is that the laser is so potent that the Agnaktor doesn't have an actual predator. It carves out a territory and it will aggressively defend it. If you step foot, well, it's gonna know where you are from your vibrations through the earth, and it's coming for you. And even though its floppy, fishy, physical moves are just kinda, alright, that's fine. I mean, they're bolstered by his fairly decent size, but nothing too special to write home about. But you're gonna get disintegrated by a lava laser beam, so that's not nice. So, yeah, no one and nothing wakes up in the morning and goes, what's for dinner? I'm feeling like some Agnaktor. And that is impressive. Agnaktor inherently is just a mid-tier monster that is punching far above his weight with the ultimate of glass cannons. That's really cool. I've always adored him. I think he looks badass. I think just the whole clack beam, I mean, he's famous for it, and rightly so. He takes no shit from anyone, and that is something that you can respect. He arguably has, relative to the rest of him, the strongest weapon just in Monster Hunter. And you know? I'm hoping you're getting a lot of accurate lore information from me making the noise. Agnaktor's carapace, then, is rather fascinating. Between each scale is produced a sticky, mucus-like substance, and this is unbelievably flame retardant. It simply will not burn. It also is immensely resistant to heat, and this is how he uses his, well, armor coating technique. He essentially doesn't feel it. It's how he swims through the stuff. 2, though it is definitely susceptible to having parts of it shattered and broken, which then makes it, well, less good to be swimming in lava because it's contacting directly with the flesh that it then cauterizes immediately, but like, that is rather painful. You don't want to cauterize wounds with lava. I mean, admittedly, it should just cause all the liquid in his body to rapidly turn to gas, expand, and he should completely explode from the inside in a shower of guts and gore. But you know, Monster, we gotta take a few creative licenses. How they breed, then, is even more fascinating. Play the clip! I'm not actually good. Did you think I had something, but did you think I was literally gonna throw in there of two Agnaktor going at it, you sick fuck? Shame! They like to go to the summit of an active volcano to mate. They like it hot. Hey! Yep. Female Agnaktor then will nest at the top of said volcano and will give live birth to up to 30 babies at a time. So, yeah, I am wondering if they just fall into the volcano just one after the other, and they're literally born in fire, and then, you know, that's their, like, alright, fine, this, okay, that, well, actually, I mean, the babies, the young, the Eructors aren't super magma resistant, they're mostly rock burrowers, not lava swimmers, so that probably would just be murdering her children literally seconds after they came into the world, so maybe not. But the cool thing is, right, only an Agnaktor that has successfully mated at least once knows how to do a ceiling dig attack. How that was observed, how that was found out, I mean, do they walk down from the mountain pretty fucking proud of themselves and go, you know what, I'm feeling good right now, you see that ceiling, Dave? I'm gonna jump into it and then burrow, like, from the air. Steve, Steve, that's unheard of. Ah, but you know Samantha. Steve. Anyway, it's a lovely little fact for you there. Oh. Agnaktor. Known as the fire pike wyverns, Agnaktor use their tough beaks and great strength to burrow through rock, and sometimes even cave ceilings, encrusted with the hardened lava that can soften from the heat when they spit magma or burrow. And indeed, they can just spit globs and globules of it out and try and cover their foes, and honestly, when your weapon is one of the most deadly, hottest substances to be found, you're doing pretty well for yourself. So, that's your base Agnaktor. He is lovely in, you know, in majestic animal sense. He still would kill you and eat you at a moment's notice. They do have a subspecies, and it is my opinion, probably the best subspecies. Full stop on that. Like, I think it's immense. Well, I was going to say creative, but it is just swap the element, but it is cool. Literally, and in the way that you initially thought that I meant it. Glacial Agnaktor. It does what Agnaktor do, but ice. It burrows through ice. It comes out covered in ice that slowly melts and gets softer over time. The reverse armor setup of its normal Agnaktor counterpart. It fires a beam of pure hail and ice that shreds flesh, breaks bones, and powers back foes. Not as strong as the lava equivalent beam, but still plenty powerful. No longer needing the clack-clack ignition, but clack-clack they do, because, you know, that is how the Agnaktor do. You gotta clack-clack no matter whether you need to clack-clack, because it's a really fun sound. Do any of you guys really just like the sound of, like, horse hooves on, like, a pavement? Or, like, clogs on a wooden floor? You know, just like a really nice, crisp... one of my favorite sounds. I thought you'd appear to like that. But because the beak is not needed to as an ignition system, it has grown larger, it's longer, it's sharper, and it's a much more deadly weapon. The pike in the pike wyvern is very much named after that beak, as it can be swung around as such and absolutely cleave would-be aggressors in twain. The freeze pike wyvern, as you know, it's not a huge amount of points for guessing that, but there you have it. They're really not hugely different, but they are really just fantastic. I mean, just taking it and fully element flipping it. How often do we get that? You look at things like Rathian, but now it's pink, and then you compare it to the magma monster becoming an ice monster with a reverse of one of its most unique mechanics, and it just works absolutely beautiful. It's the only Leviathan that is capable of swimming through lakes, at least that we are aware of, and it can fight and beat things like Tigrex, which is already an impressive achievement. Their beaks just shatter through ice layers like it ain't no thing, and generally they are masters of their terrain. They are faster, they are stronger, their movement is fluid and furious, and they generally get the job done. Their claws are a lot sharper. In fact, physically in general, the Glacial has really got the normal beat, because they don't rely on a super weapon despite having a kind of beam. They have to get in there and get dirty themselves. The claws also double up as helping them maintain balance on the icy, slippery terrain. They lock deep into the ground and help them maneuver in a very effective manner. Now, the mystery here is no one's ever seen an Agnaktor equivalent for Glacial, a baby Glacial. How they actually come to be is somewhat enigmatic. They also have a lovely habit of leaving kills to rot and turn much softer and pulpy so that it's easier to chomp down on, because their teeth and bone-ripping skills aren't exactly up to scratch, which to me doesn't make too much sense, because I feel like they could just axe-beak their way through and make nice little slices and then just eat them, you know, like pull out a knife and fork, you know, be really refined. I think Glacial Agnaktors aren't the savages they initially appear to be, but their scales that make them so heat resistant also insulate from the cold just as well, although a slightly different substance is secreted. Now, then, I don't know why I paused for so long, but I hope the suspense was built. Iceborne. Right, we've not got Leviathans yet, but we know that they thought about them, they know that they tried to get them to work. They surely have got that fixed. And I know I've said this a few times, but oh, please, let's at least, if not Agnaktor, have Glacial Agnaktor. Have a subspecies being the only representation of a species in a Monster Hunter game. I think that would be incredibly fucking cool. Going to this island and finding that there is a nest of them there. They've been living there all this time and thriving, and now we get to combat them. Hell, then just throw normal Agnaktor in and have it kick out Levisioth. It's a win-win situation. But they are one of the quirkiest, most fun to fight, most engaging and interesting monsters, full stop. I adore them, and so do I imagine many of you, and I think this is such a good, bold choice for a little bit of spice in Iceborne if it is going to come from an old monster. I think they would fit in lovely. I think they're fairly viable for the most part and would mesh well with the world aesthetic, and I want Agnaktor back in my life. I really, really do. I always have such a soft spot for him. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. A goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.